I'll share my screen. We are learning here as QA. What is QA? Why QA
Quality
is
assurance.
needed? Yes. Quality assurance. Then why is it used for?
It is must, right, for everything.
Correct.
Whatever the product we buy or whatever the things, anything, there should be a quality, a best product. It should be right.
Ensure
Our
the
money is important.
quality. Yeah.
Yep.
Quality product.
We are giving money for that.
To be delivered, right?
So we need a compensation, or we need for the money. We need justification, right?
Yes, that's true. So quality, to ensure that the quality product is to be delivered correctly, so that operations run smoothly. Okay. So QA testing ensures to set up, meet quality standards and business needs. It checks the functionality. What does QA does? Okay. It checks the functionality, customization, and the integration and the flow. Okay. And it finds and fix the performance, user experience, or a data integrity issues. Right. So QA plays a very important role. Even though it's a small job, but they are very important to us in the company, because of them, the QA ensures to check the product in a right manner. He checks whether it is working fine or whether it is functioning it correctly, or what is wrong in this, what is good in this. So everything QA does this quality check. Once it is done, then only it goes on to the maybe the production line. It goes on the production line, or it goes on the production site, or whatever. Okay. So you guys play a very important role. Who can learn QA? See the PPT. Who can learn QA?
In my point of view, everybody can learn QA.
Correct. Not necessary that someone should be from IT background, or someone should have a coding language. Then only the people can learn QA. No, it's not going to be like that. Anyone who does not have, even if a student who does not have a coding background or a IT background, or he's just a graduate, or he is just with a manual testing background, it is still okay. Everybody can learn. Okay, because this is not a rocket science. And especially with manual testing, it is superb. It's just that you need to understand the process oriented job it is, because you guys are the one who's going to follow a process in such a deep way that when you're testing it, right, when you're doing any sort of a testing, you will not just see only positiveness on that particular thing. You will also see a negative things. You will think like a positive person as well as a negative person. What if I do this, what comes the output? What if I do that, what is the outcome? Right. So you will be checking thoroughly. And what is a career path? Not just that, if like QA does not have a career path. No, career path for QA also it is there, where it will start from QA or a tester, and then you will get into a technical lead, and then you'll get into a consultant, functional manager, and a project manager. So even on a QA, there is a career path where you can grow yourself in the company. Okay. So but the only thing what I suggest is just don't stop learning. The moment you stop learning, your career is in stake. Remember this. And to be a QA, first thing, you must know everything. Admin, the most important thing. Yeah, if someone is, getting into development, and if you're knowing in-depth knowledge, it is awesome. Okay. But in depth, in the admin, what all have you learned? What are the topics that you have learned in admin? Can anyone say? You had learned data modeling,
Yes.
all the
Data
data
mod
types and everything.
Yes, data types, then fields, relationship, page layouts, then
Now, when you learn data type, when you learn data modeling, right?
yes, yes.
Why was that important, data modeling?
To know the type of data, like whether it is you know Boolean type or integer type,
So you
uh,
understand,
string.
yeah, whether it is a string, whether it is an email ID, whether it is a mobile number, whether it is a what
Date.
is that, date type,
Date.
whether it is a pick list or a multi-pick
Yes.
list, or whether it is a URL, whether it is a time. Why was all that data modeling was important? Because when you are doing a reporting, when on a further analysis, when you're doing a reporting, at the time of report, we should not be hustling around, right? We should not have a wrong, incorrect data. Because if you know, whenever we run a report, why do we run a report? Basically, we run a report for what?
To do the analysis of something.
Exactly, right? To do analysis. And every company does the analysis, don't you think so?
Yes.
What have they done in the past? What have they achieved it? Okay. And after they achieve it, what is their upcoming thing that they need to do it to improve their business? So every company does this analysis. And when they are doing analysis, they need to have a right data modeling. So when you don't have this, that means your reports or your further analysis, everything goes on a toss. So first thing, your admin, he creates the fields accurately with using a right data type. But you being a QA, if you don't understand what are data types, can you test them? You can't, right? So that's the reason these topics have been covered to you. Data modeling. And what else you learned? You learned how to create object.
Right.
And you learned how to create fields. When you learned how to create object and fields, what was that? Why did you learn that? Creating object, creating fields. We already have standard object. We already have standard fields. Why did you learn custom object, custom fields?
So that we can know how it works.
Correct.
Like that.
Because
Yeah.
as per our requirement, we have a different types of data that we have to collect and we have to store it. So for that, we create objects and we stored it in a different fields. So for that, we create a fields on the particular
Correct.
objects.
But main agenda of learning fields is, it is not that you need to learn being a QA, but if you don't know the concept, how will you be able to do a test? How do you understand what is fields, what is object? Because BA is the person who would be doing a testing, and that is a very important role. If he does not know the basic concept of these things, then definitely he will not be having any idea what to test, how to do test, and what parameters to check. right? Why did we learn relationship? What is relationship?
Between the two object, relation between the two
Yes.
objects.
Like,
It's
is
a
there any
connection.
dependency? Is there connections between the two objects or not?
Yes. Now, how many types of relationship that we had?
Look up master details.
And
One to one, one to many.
Many to many, any example? What did we cover in many to many?
In many to many, like we have a different job posting for the
Correct. We
different
learned
roles.
junction object
Right.
for many to many.
Mm,
Here we
junction.
understood, here we understood how my two objects can be interconnected with the help of parent and a child, right? So there you understood how a relationship can be built, in the form of parent to a child. And when you build a relation, how the records are getting fetched automatically. You learned that, right? Now, can anybody tell me what is the difference? Sachin, are you through with admin?
Yes, yes.
Okay, great. Okay. No, we are just, because before we could start QA, right? First thing is you should know whether have you learned your admin or not. So that's the main, the most important thing is whether are you through with admin or not. That's the reason that the session is for. So now can anyone tell me what is the difference that you have it in lookup and master detail?
In lookup relation, we have a parent and child, but there is no dependency of child on a parent. But so that's why that is called as a loosely coupled. But in master detail, every child is associated with the parent. So if there is no parent, there can't be a child. They are tightly coupled relation.
Okay. Then lookup. How
Sorry?
many relationships can I create in lookup relation?
Lookup. No idea. I forgot.
Vigneshwaran, you?
Look up, I think, 40
Yes,
mm.
40. Right.
40
Lookup,
master detail, I
we can
think 2
create
mm.
40. Master we can. Now, if I put together in one object, how many relation I can create?
40.
40 only. Irrespective of whether it is a master detail or a lookup, in one object, I can have maximum 40 relation. Where if I need to create one master detail, then I can, remaining is 39, I can do lookup relation. If I create two master detail, then remaining 38, I can create a lookup relation in one single object. So total in one object, I can create 40 relationship. Roll-up summary can be made on which object?
Roll up in master
Master.
details.
Master of what?
Child.
Huh? Roll-up summary you can create on the child. Okay, relationships are always been created
On
on
child.
object.
Yes.
But I am talking roll-up summary where it can be created.
Parent.
Yeah, parent of what? Parent of master detail.
Master.
Only there you can create a roll-up summary. Else, nowhere else you can create master like roll-up summary. You cannot create anywhere except a parent of master detail object. Only we can create a roll-up summary.
Roll-up summary.
And in the ownership, in the master detail, ownership is ownership of a child object controlled by whom?
Parent, ma'am.
Yes. In the lookup,
No, I think no relationship.
child
It's a
only
loosely
will
coupled.
have, child only will have his own relation, own ownership. Okay, there we learned this. Now, how many ways? How many ways I can make my fields mandatory?
I think Three,
Okay, tell me which are those.
I remember the only two, through page layout
Okay.
and while creating a object.
Mhm.
And third, I don't remember.
Vigneshwaran, you? Any idea, Sachin? How many ways I can make my fields mandatory?
Actually, I'm listening right now because before 2 months, 2.5 months, my
Oh
admin
my
classes
God.
got finished. So I'm recalling what are all the things going on.
Now you
That,
understand why this recall refresh is important?
yeah, I can understand. I can
Very
understand.
important, because when you
Yeah,
don't know this, then you're going ahead with the QA. Then
yeah,
what will you do testing? What will you do analysis? What will you write a test script? How will you write test cases?
yeah.
Correct?
Yep.
So, Vigneshwaran, I hope you remember. When you don't remember, you tell me. I'll tell you.
Ma'am, I think role, ma'am.
Huh?
I think
No, how
role
to make fields mandatory. One, I made it through page. Okay, page layout, we
page
made a
layout.
field
I
mandatory.
think
One while
easy.
creating.
Oh,
Third, by any chance, you guys remember what are validations?
validation.
Yes.
By any chance, you remember what are flows? In the flow, we make
Flows.
fields mandatory. Where did I show this flows? In the flow, I made field mandatory, right? Do you remember when I was creating screen component field, screen component mirroring fields, right? Using my screen flow. That is a place I showed you how we can make our fields as mandatory. Even using your flows, you can make fields as mandatory. So there are 4 ways to make your fields mandatory. Okay. Very important, because sometime you being a tester, so if you need to check whether the fields are mandatory, how to remove, where is the bug. So if you need to remove couple of fields as a mandatory, so you need to understand, right, where it is exactly, because there are only 4 ways that we need to make our fields mandatory. Okay, they are the only 4 ways. 100% this question will be asked to you. This lookup relation and master detail relations, nobody talks about junction object. Okay, as I've never seen now. Why record types are being used for? Why record types?
To access different page layouts.
Okay, to access different page layout. Correct. Now there is one more speciality of record type. What was that? Can you tell me?
Um, uh, the thing that I remember, that is, as I told you, we can make the fields mandatory globally and while creating object and through page layout,
We can,
whatever.
through record types, we can manipulate the values of the pick list,
Yes.
right? Suppose when we create a global pick list value, and we try to use this in n number of objects, isn't that? So when you're
Ma'am,
creating your sorry,
ma'am, voice break.
now you're able to hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So record type is basically used for that, to manipulate the pick list values and also to showcase the multiple page layout. Okay. And dependency. Now tell me, we might have given you certain standard instructions in dependency. What are those? Why dependencies are being used, and what is the standard rules of dependency? What can be dependent? What can be who can be dependent and who can be what is that, what do you call as a term, field dependency, controlling field and depending field. Let me give you an example. Can standard pick list be my dependent field? Can it be my dependent field? This you should know. Multi-pick list. Can it be controlling field? There are some limitations, right? And while doing your field dependency, your standard pick list cannot be your dependent field. It can only be your controlling field. Okay. Similarly, even with comes to your multi-pick list, okay, it cannot be your controlling field. It can only be your dependent field. What about checkbox? Can a checkbox be my controlling or a dependent field? Forgot this topic?
Control.
Controlling, yeah. It can be a controlling field, not the dependent field. So this field dependency also you need to remember, because there are some, because in the interview questions, they would definitely ask you, stating that can you create a a pick list and a multi-pick list on these fields, and can you make your multi-pick list as your controlling field? Then you should be able to be in the stage to say, no, my multi-pick list cannot be my controlling field. It can be my dependent field. So you got to be clear. So when you will be clear, when you are well versed with dependency topic. Okay. How many types of flows you have? How many types of automations you have? Sarika, Sachin,
Flows, I think 4 types now.
tell me.
Workflow,
Mhm,
Process build, approval process,
mhm,
process builder,
mhm.
flows.
Flows, approval. Now, which is the trending one?
Flows.
flows,
Okay. How many actions do they have it in workflow?
Four, I think.
Yeah. Now, what is the drawback in process builder? There is a drawback in process builder. What is that? One object can have one process. Within one, let's say for an example, if I'm using already a position object there, okay, if I'm using a position object in the process builder, then if I'm doing certain actions,
yes, I'm
then
not using other now. Okay.
again, if I need to create another process with the same object, that's not possible in my process builder. That is a drawback. They only will not ask you good things. They will also ask you a drawback also. Okay. You should be prepared for this also. Now, what is the add-on thing that you found in a process builder when you compare to workflow? Process builder में कितने actions थे? How many actions were there? What was something new when you compare to workflow? We did post to chatter. We created record. And what else we could do here? Post to chatter, create record. That is something that we learned, and no criteria. Workflow was depended on a particular criteria. If some particular criteria meets, then some action will occur in my workflow, right? So if something happens, then something will happen, right? So if my position is equal to admin, then do following task. So it was depended on some criteria, my workflow. And after that criteria meets, then I was able to do my 4 actions. That is task, email alert, field update, and outbound message, right? Now, when they started using this workflow, they found a lot of queries. Why only field update? Why can't we have create record? Why only sending email? Why can't I post to my chatter? Why only with criteria? Why cannot be without criteria? So they started with this no criteria. So when they had some drawbacks, right? They came up with the second automation tool, that is process builder. Why only admin should do? Why can't a developer also can do some of the actions? So they started with Apex, Quip. Sorry, 1 minute. So why only with admin? So we can do with Apex. We can do some sending notification. We can do some quick quip actions. So many things got added in the process builder. Now, when they had developed more, more features in process builder, why did they start using flows? What was new thing got added here in the flow? Why did they stop using process builder and why did they start using flows? What was new thing that we found here? The drawback is in this process builder, one process at a time, correct? So they had this drawback in this process builder. So in the flows, they started that one object can have multiple process. That is one thing. Here, why only creating record? Why only updating record? Why can't we have some delete options, a delete process? Whenever the record is getting deleted, why is it not getting triggered? So they started with some delete activities also. We learned in flows, right? Whenever record is getting deleted, do some actions. This was not there in my workflow. This was not there in my process builder. So they started with flow, right? Whenever the record is getting deleted. And also, they also started with screen flow. We never had the screen flow in this two process, workflow and process builder. We started new thing was in the flows, even the screen flow we started. So like this, many things got added, many, they started with many of the thinking and they said, no, when all this are possible, then we can do this also. And that's how we started with flow. Now this isn't trending. Now what is this approval process? Why do we use approval process? Can anybody give me one example? Anyone? Sarika, Vigneshwaran, Sachin. My voice is audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Why was this approval process is used for? Any random example, no problem, even if it is wrong, because you guys are going to be negative thinker and a positive thinker. So think like QA. Because I just don't want to start as it is without you are clear with this. Because if you're not clear, there's no point of having, further classes on this, because you need to be thorough in that. That is the reason we always give a gap for you guys to learn your admin, complete your project, do your assignments. And then when you come back, you will be clear in all these topics. Why does approval process used for?
Hierarchy, ma'am.
Yeah, kind of hierarchy. Okay, but can you give me an example why, how we can use approval process?
Yes, ma'am. I think the CEO access the all.
Okay. Sarika, you approval process आप तारो हो?
उसके बारे में कुछ पढ़ा नहीं है मैम.
No problem. छोटा सा simple सा language. Let me tell you in a very layman language. Suppose someone is having a store. Okay, there's a store. Okay, where a customer has walked into your store and he is planning to buy some of the products. Okay, and the customer has approached to the staff saying that why there is no discount. Okay, so at that point of a time, a manager, as a user, a staff has to seek a permission from the manager. Sir, this customer is asking for a discount. Can I give a discount? So if your manager approves, then only we can give a discount, right, to the customers. Agree to it?
Yes.
Yes.
If you take up approval from the manager, let's say customer asked for 20%. Okay, so my user, my staff, what did he do? Sir, this customer has come back and he wants to buy so and so product and he's asking for 20% discount, sir. Can I give 20% discount? So what he has done is he has sent this particular order information to this manager. Now this 20%, it is in his hand. If it is in his hand, what did he do? Okay, take it. I'll give approval. You may bill the products for 20% discount. I'll give you a coupon, right? Now suppose if the customer has asked for 30% discount, then the staff has gone and asked for 30% discount. So definitely this giving 30% discount is not in his hand. So what does this manager do? He will go to his manager and he will seek a permission. Sir, one of my customer has come to the store and they have approached my staff and they have asked for 30% discount and they are a very valuable customer. See if we can give the discounts. So what he will do is this manager will reassign this particular request to his manager. So once he approves it, okay, then it will get approved here. So that is about approval process. I just gave you a simple example for you. So when you see position object, you can see in minimum pay, maximum pay, or if you take an example in a candidate object, current salary, expected salary, you can try to correlate there. Okay. You have done with approval process. Data security. How many levels of data security you have? Very important for you guys. How many levels of data security?
4.
What are those? Org level,
Organization level or role, no?
object level,
Initiation
System
level, field
Field
level,
level.
and record level.
correct, field level and record level. Now, in the org level, we all know how to give. But if I need to give add-on, if I need to give object level access, through how many ways I can do? One is through profile, another one was with profile and how did we give add-on access, Vignesh?
Permission sets.
Correct.
Permission.
Permission sets. With field level, again, I can manipulate using my profiles and permission sets. Now, when it comes to my record level, in what level I can give? How many ways I can open up record level access? OWD. First thing, we make profiles as OWD. Then we open up access with the help of roles, sharing roles, and manual sharing. very important for you guys, data security, because you'll be doing a lot of manual testing. And when you get a case story, user story from the BA, okay, the developers or admin people, when they create, you'll be using those case stories and you'll be writing a test cases, test description, test steps. You'll be writing everything, right? So you need to be very much assured, saying that, okay, this is a user story and this is how they have developed it. Now let me just check, have they done it correctly or not? To do that, if you don't know these data level security, whom did they give access, what is the edit, and what is the access that they have got. So to see that manually, you need to know this data security very well. Okay. Next comes to your data management. What is the difference between data loader and data import wizard?
Data import wizard inbuilt है,
Mm-hmm.
and data loader we have to install it.
Correct. How many records that we can upload by using data import wizard? There is a limitation,
There
right?
is, yeah, there is a limitation.
कितना है?
That number I don't recall right now.
50,000. In data import wizard, you can import up to 50,000 records, and in data loader you can upload up to 5 million record. Okay. Now in data import wizard, we can only perform import actions, right? And when it comes to your data loader, you can do import, export, delete, and delete all the actions. Okay. And there are some limitations in data import wizard that not all the standard object they can do a import. Okay. There is some limitations. Okay. In the, let's say they can only import the data in the accounts or contacts object. Okay. But when it comes to a data loader, where we can do import, export, and all the standard and custom object also. How many types of reports that you can find?
4 types.
Which are those?
Joint report,
Tabular,
matrix report,
mm-hmm.
and there is one more.
Summary.
Summary, yes, summary.
And joint report. Now, when it will become a summary report? By doing something, it will become a summary report, right? By doing something, it becomes a matrix report. How? When you have an object, okay? First thing, when you take some object, when you try to do some filter and you're removing couple of fields and you're adding some of the fields, and the outcome that what we get, that becomes your tabular report. Okay. The moment you add any of the fields in group of row, okay, that becomes your summary report. When it becomes your matrix report, when you add any of the fields in group of row and group of column. That becomes your matrix report. When it becomes your joint report?
Presenting data, I think.
Right? No. Joint report when you add two objects. When you add another object. But when you need to make a joint report, there should be some field should be common, right? Without having a common field, can you still make your joint report? Did you learn this joint report, Sarika? Did you practice this actually when you did you create this joint report?
Today I
No?
just started report.
Start this. Now you understand. Now when you went to this all questionnaires, and we tried discussing about, what is the data modeling, object, fields, relationship, and everything. Now you understand where are we lacking behind,
Yes.
right? So if your basics are not correct, right, then definitely you won't be able to do further like testing, because you need to understand the concept, and then it becomes easy for you to do a testing. So your basics has to be strong. Your basics, especially with QAs, okay? Your data security, very, very important. Okay? Very important. And your relationships are very important, and your automations are very important. And your data modeling. Your concept of data modeling, you need to be well versed. If you don't know data modeling, if you don't know accurate what data type to be used on which object, which field, then I don't think so. Then your entire testing also you'll go wrong, because you can't define it properly. And again, when you don't know your automation testing, how will you do a testing? You should know what are the drawbacks. You should know what are the benefits that we got. We should know how it works, how the screen flow will work, how a record trigger flow will work, how a process builder will work. Now if you didn't know the drawback of a process builder, then you would have been in the assumption that why one more automation is not working in process builder on the same object. But if you'd have known that there is a drawback in this, that one object can have one process, I cannot, if I need to have another, automation on the same object, then I need to deactivate my first my process, and then only I can go on a second process. So you should know this drawbacks. Okay. When you get time, maybe today night or tomorrow in the afternoon, whenever you get time, make sure you are through with your admins. Okay. Every day take one or two topic and try to clear. Work on your assignments. Work on the topics. When you don't know some topics, go back to the topic, because all your recordings are based on your topic wise, right? So go back to the topic wise recording and just try to recollect. Okay.
Okay.
That is about your career path. Sachin, any doubts in this so far? I hope you agree that we need to know your basics.
Yeah. I totally agree. I have to, actually, I don't have time to recall anything because of other stuffs. My exams is going to be happen. So everything, and then other works also is simultaneously going on.
I
So
know, but everything is interconnected, Sachin.
yes.
Everything is interconnected, because I might just tell you some Ragatalan story, right? But when you don't correlate, then it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So that's the reason on today's topic, we overviewed, we refreshed our admin.
Okay.
Okay. Now, why Salesforce QA testing? Quality assurance Salesforce testing ensures to set up meet. It checks the functionality, integration, customization, and workflows to fix performance, user experience, or data integrity issues. Why Salesforce testing? Salesforce testing is the process of development. Salesforce testing is used to identify the defects in the Salesforce and make your environment bug free to meet the requirement and expectations. Now, what you will be learning in your curriculum? Just give me a minute. Not just this, I have added few more topics on this batch so that you can learn thoroughly. Let me just give you everything in detail to you. The topic that you'll be learning is overall Salesforce admin. Any of you have taken an overview, but still I'm not happy that, the way that you guys have, not today, at least. Today, most of them are blank. Okay, so some of the topics that you're through, some of the topics are you're not through. So make sure you be thorough with your admin. And in case in between any class, if you're not understanding any of the topic, please ask me. Okay, we'll cover your topics particularly. I'm here for an admin where if you need to understand. Apart from that, you will be learning Salesforce sandboxes, deployment process, and along with that, Salesforce queries, SOQL and SOSL, Salesforce debugging, Salesforce test script, writing effective test cases for Salesforce, test execution and test reporting, explanatory testing in Salesforce. These things you'll be learning, but not just this. I'll name out what all you'll be learning. Topics, what you will be learning. You will learn deployment process. Okay, in this you have production instance. You will learn about development instances. You will learn types of sandboxes. Very important. Types of sandboxes, types of change set. And in practical knowledge, we will learn how to create production org. We'll go on live. Okay, we'll create sandboxes. We'll create sandboxes. We'll create connections. And then we will learn we'll learn queries. Okay. In query, why do we learn query? Any idea? Though this is a development part, but why is this been added for you guys? SOQL. Do you know what is SOQL, SOSL? No?
I think it's a like SQL, like database kind of a thing, maybe.
Correct, correct. It is SOQL is nothing but Salesforce Object Query Language, wherein this you will be able to fetch the data, fetch the record. So suppose sometime when you need to do some testing, when you need to do some of the fetching the records from the Salesforce object, you need to be well versed with your queries. So that's the reason this SOQL and SOSL queries are being added in this curriculum for you. Okay. And now you will learn. I think for you guys, I have already cleared track field history. I think this has been covered for you also. Sarika?
I don't remember exactly.
Okay. Track field history is nothing but basically to check whether the staff, whether the user is, what is he working on it. Suppose sometime your user might say that I'm working on this object, that project and this project, right? So this track field history will give the entire history that which object is he working, what has he done the changes, every pin information that we will get. Especially in Salesforce, do not fool around that you're working on some blunders because your every history is being tracked. Okay. What is this audit trail? This again, it talks about your performance. It talks about your work history, what you've been doing it. Okay, we'll cover this also. And apart from this, we'll cover Salesforce testing, life cycle of software development. We will also learn what are the Salesforce key terminology. Project methodology. We will learn what are your roles and responsibility. Test cases, test script. Okay, how do we write test cases, test scripts, and all we will learn. Then we will give you overall. Okay, we'll give you overview. Sales, service, marketing cloud. Because when you're going to do a testing, right, you should also know how your sales, your service, your marketing cloud also would work. This three clouds will definitely play a very important role in every system, every company. Okay. So was it being covered to you, overview, how it really works, the sales, service, and marketing cloud in your admin class? How leads have been generated, how leads have been converting into opportunities. Is it this overview has been shown to you in say sales, service, and marketing cloud?
For my
Yes, ma'am.
knowledge, no.
Okay, so we will learn in some more in depth. Okay, this overview, because it is very important to know, because when you are doing a testing, you should also know how the process also would work in these clouds. Okay, and apart from this, you will be learning software testing. You will learn kinds of testing. We will cover automation testing using Selenium, and we will also learn manual testing. We will learn life cycle of software. Software testing and types of software testing. We have functional testing. We have non-functional testing. We will also learn governor limits. I think I had covered this to you guys. How many fields can be created in any custom object? In the developer version or in the priced edition? How many apps can be created? How many objects can be created? How many fields can be created? I had covered. But anyway, we will learn.
200 object. Ma'am.
You no, Vignesh, and you need to go back. Your you just go back to your
Yes, ma'am.
classes. Okay, no, see, this is where, one simple question. Okay, one question for all of you guys. Can I do changes in my production org? If I need to do any kind of a changes, can I do change in my production org? Yes, no, whatever.
I don't know.
If you say yes, no, they'll just kick you out of this. See, production org is something, the client org, okay? We don't do any changes in the client org. Whatever we do changes in our developer org, okay? Once we do a change, once we create any kind of objects, okay, through sandboxes, after doing the testing through sandboxes, we will push to the production org. Okay, so we don't do anything in production, or whatever we do it only in the sandboxes, and we create and then we push it. Okay, and few examples in Selenium automation testing. So these are the topics that we will be covering it to you. And especially for your QA, your job will be very easy, but the questions, the interview questions, the interview process is very hectic for you guys. Why? Because you need to know these theory knowledge also. Because they will ask you n number of questions in your interview, but in the real time, you may not have so much of a work. Trust me. But the kind of a process what they ask you in the interview is too much. It's too difficult. They would ask you, simply they will ask you, can you please tell me what is the life cycle of software testing, software development, or a life cycle of software testing? And they will ask you, what are the functional testings that you have? What are the non-functional testing? What are the deployment process? What is the types of sandboxes? What is the refresh intervals? See, these are the questions that they throw on you, right? So that is where your theory knowledge are very important. Your theory is very important. Apart from that, yes, even a practical knowledge that says how do we deploy, how do we do a automation testing, how do we do manual testing, how do you write test scripts, test cases, everything that you'll be learning. So this is a complete topic that you will be learning it. Any doubts in this topic that I have missed out something or you wanted to know? Sachin or Sarika.
No doubt.
These are the topics we'll be covering it to you. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
Now, what are your roles and responsibility? What is your basic job? What you will be doing? Being a QA. You might have written somewhere, right? You might have seen many of the JD when you have. What are the major roles and responsibility have you seen in the QA?
Bug reports, test cases, writing test case, and then testing the software fields,
Correct.
everything.
Correct. So you'll be testing different automation tools and software in the Salesforce, right? So majorly you'll be doing a lot of automation testing on your automations tools. And here you will be playing more with your manual testing because already this is an automation process, right? What will you do again automation in that? Will you do automation testing on this flows, automations? User management. Now, for an example, let's say there is a test case that there's a requirement which has got saying that there is a position object. Please give edit access to user number 3. Now, tell me this case. Will you do manual testing or will you do automation testing?
Manual.
Correct, right? So, when you see Salesforce is already predefined by the automations. There are very rare cases that you'll be doing automation testing. That's why majorly most of the people they go with Salesforce as a QA because this is more reliable on your manual testing. Very few cases they do using Postman. They use Git or they use what is that Selenium. These are the tools that they use. Okay, for automation testing. Here we will cover 1 or 2 cases, not 1 or 2, at least let me give you five cases where we can use Selenium and we can do testing. Okay, we'll do that. But majorly you'll be focusing on how do we write test cases, test scripts and all that. And you'll be learning all these topics in depth. Make a notes of it. Okay, be prepared on this and make a bullet points. When you make bullet points, right, you'll be able to get through with the interview. And Sarika, have you given a mock interviews with Gaurav on admin?
No.
No. What about you, Sachin?
Actually, my admin class in admin class for me there is no closing session also happened.
Who was your trainer?
Aditi. In
Oh,
final days,
okay.
in her family, some death happened, so she can't able to close it.
Correct. Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, so abruptly it got closed, and then there is
Closed,
no
is it?
closing session happen.
What was your
That's it.
last topic? Was your last topic was covered properly?
Data margin, data migration,
management.
data
Okay, data
migration.
migration, right? Correct.
Yep.
Was your reports and dashboards was covered properly? Reports
Actually,
and
in my
dashboards?
in my drive, there is a videos is there, but I didn't remember exactly whether it is covered properly or not.
Okay, no worries. Just
Mm.
whenever you get time, no, you just
Okay.
clear that. And
Okay.
whenever, maybe after a QA session, I really want you guys to attend a mock interview, because mock interview plays very important role. You'll not have that stage fear. Like
Yeah,
how we
yeah.
used to do in our school days and all, right? We used to practice and then we used to, forget our stage fear. Similarly, when you keep giving mock interviews, right, you will have a confidence that you can answer this questions, and whatever the questions that we ask, you will be in a confidence way that you can answer those things. So now in mock interview, when you answer it, definitely at the time when you go for an interview, definitely you will not have that sort of a nervousness.
Okay, okay.
So that's the reason. So anyway, let the QA session get over. But Vigneshwaran, I want you to attend mock interviews as in Gaurav gives you. Okay, that is for your admin part. Okay, and even after
Okay.
QA, please attend your mock interviews so that you are refreshed. And whenever we have mock interviews, right, even though you're not participating it, just enter that meeting and get prepared. Even though you're not a person who's giving a mock interview, that's okay, completely fine. But at least be present in that mock interview so that you get more ideas that how do I talk, how do I face, how do I tackle that situation, what all add-on things that I can speak. All that you will get a motivation. And whenever the batch is getting ended, right? So those times, all this mock interview will be conducted by Gaurav. Okay, remind me at the time, at the last day of course, remind me, I'll give you some days. Okay, prepare it, then you attend this mock interview, it will help you. Okay. So for today,
Okay.
it's just a overall that we covered. Okay, I really wanted to know that how well we understand admin and how well we are up to what. So that's the reason the session was only to, know about each other's and understand the overview of admin, and also like what topics that will be covering it. We just made a point. Okay. From tomorrow, we will cover our tomorrow's session will be our deployment process, where in this we will learn production instance, development instance, and if possible, if we have time, we will learn types of sandboxes also. Then after that, we will cover practical knowledge. We will actually do practically, like we will create a production org, where in this production org, how do we create a sandboxes? After creating sandboxes, how do we create an object? How do we create fields? And then how do we create a connection in between a connection production org to a sandbox? And then how do we deploy it? And once we deploy it, how does a production org will accept this particular object that we have created? So we will learn this in practical. Okay, this most probably on Monday we will cover, and tomorrow we'll cover this. Okay, every step by step is important. So don't miss the class, be regular. If you don't understand, please ask. We'll revise it again if required. But be present. Okay.
So class will be in Monday, right?
Tomorrow there is a class. For sure, tomorrow there is a class.
Okay.
Tomorrow we'll cover this. Okay, deployment process, deployment process will cover tomorrow. And on Monday, we'll cover this practical knowledge. Possible, yeah, let's cover. If you guys have time, why not we cover it?
Yeah.
Otherwise, what happens? I'll tell you. This we have around 8 to 9 classes, right? So if I say 8 to 9 classes, then Saturday, Sunday, then you'll be able to end by 6th of Jan. Why do you need to wait till 6th of Jan? By by 23rd, we can complete it.
Yes.
Rather waiting 6th of Jan, rather utilize this time, utilize till 6th what you have a time, utilize this time for learning. Practice it. When you have hands-on experience, when you keep practicing, right, it will give you an added value. And whenever you guys are available, just ping me up. If in case if you're getting doubt, I'll be there to help you out. Whenever you're stuck, let me know. If I'm available, I'll respond to you immediately. Otherwise, I'll still see your message and I'll revert back to you. If I'm not in any of our training, then if I see your message, I'll revert back to you. So utilize whenever you get a time, utilize it for your learning. And now when you have time, when there is nobody is joining in this batch, only if 3 people are there, then we will conduct even a weekday also. Or maybe in between, if you don't need any class one day, then we will check 1 day or 2 day, and then we'll continue on a weekend. As the time permits, we'll take the classes. But if it is on weekday, then I am available by 6:45 or 6:30. We can conduct at 6:30. 6:30 to 7:30, 7:45, we can complete. Because my another batch will start from 7:45. So 7:45 to 11 o'clock, I won't be available. So let's do it at 6:30.
Tomorrow.
Not tomorrow, Monday,
Oh, Monday. Okay.
weekday.
Okay.
For weekend, let it be for this time only, 8 o'clock. But for weekend, I'm sorry, for a weekend, let it be at 8 p.m. only. But for a weekday, we'll switch for 6:30. And the meeting link will remain the same. So you can join using the same link.
Okay.
I'll save this and I'll share it to you in the drive. I want you to just share me your email ID, or Sachin, you share me your email ID. No, it's
Yes.
okay. All of you, all 3 of you share your ID. I'll create a separate drive, a separate folder, and I'll share this QA recording for you guys. And for you, Sarika, I'll share you another drive
Admin.
wherein that every assignment is there in the admin part, so that you can cover it up.
Yes, please share.
Okay, sure.
I-
Okay.
Ma'am,
I sh-
can you share your like admin if you have admin's recordings or anything else? Can you share me, because I don't know whether how much it's covered by Aditi ma'am. I don't know.
Okay.
Completely it got covered or not. I don't
No
know. That's
worries.
why.
Yeah, share me your email ID. I'll share it for you and Sarika also.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Yeah. Thank you, guys. See you tomorrow at 8 p.m.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Bye,
in chat,
Bhuvneshwar.
I
Bye,
have shared
Sarika.
the email ID. Do I share in the WhatsApp group
In the
also, Mumtaz?
WhatsApp group, please.
Okay,
WhatsApp.
okay, sure.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Good night, everyone.
Good night. Bye, all.